Hello guys, welcome on my artistic channel, and today I wanted to show you the process of creating a quick sketch of a granny. I recently bought a new sketchbook. I wanted a sketchbook that has soft paper, so I bought Hahnemühle. I guess that's the name. I don't know how to pronounce it. From the series Nostalgie, and this paper is 190 grams per meter. So it's pretty thick and can take more water, so it's designed to use watercolors. So at first I created a sketch, as you can see, and started from mixing paints to receive a flesh tone. I always mix burnt sienna and a little bit of reddish color to receive skin tone, and for shadows I add a light blue color to that mix. So I grab a piece of paper and always check the color on a bare piece of paper to be able to see it before I put it on my painting. When I paint the face, I start with putting the flesh tone, and while the paper is still wet from that layer, I add some reddish tones to the cheeks, to the nose, because then this paint can blend in a good way easily. So why the granny? When I was getting back from my friend and I was sitting in a bus, an older lady sat next to me, and she just looked like a typical granny from children's book. She had, I don't know, some warmth in her, something like light, and I remember that I thought back then that she looks like typical granny. So she was my inspiration to create that quick piece. I used to paint in more realistic way. You can check my previous works on Instagram. My nick there is Jungle Art Cat. And right now I'm more into exploring a style that it's more suitable for children's book illustration, which is not focused so much on keeping the anatomy right, and it's more focused on creating a character and having that energy of a person. As you can see, I'm using ceramic plate to mix my watercolors on it, because it creates good surface for mixing. It's way better than plastic surface, so that's why I use it, and it's pretty big, so I find it convenient. To be honest, the whole process was really pleasurable. I feel really good inside to paint, yeah, like granny that has cakes, like warm, just taken from the oven cakes. And here you see me like erasing a mistake, because accidentally I put paint in the middle. So to lift it up, I water it, and then I just use a piece of tissue to lift it. So that's the way that you can manage accidental splashes. So as you can see, these cookies are more like Christmas cookies shapes. I don't know, it just came to my mind and I wanted to go with the flow and really just to have fun with it. So I went with this idea. And I wanted to use few colors in this whole composition, but I didn't want it to have very strong color next to each other. As you can see, the protective gloves that are below on your right because my camera was facing side to the sketchbook, and next time I promise I will think about different solution to mounting my tripod. It's not high enough to stand behind me, but I need to figure something out. Anyway, as you can see, this green color is pretty strong, so I decided not to put very strong color. This blue is pretty strong right now, but I will lift it up later. While it's still wet, as you can see, I am making a stroke and then I'm touching the stroke. And that works this way, that when I make a stroke and touch the tip of wet of the paint brush to it, the stroke soaks the paint from the brush and leaves more pigment on the paper. So when I left more, I could put tissue over it and then take the excess amount. I'm using White Nights watercolors, the bigger set, and I really like these paints. To paint roses on her front, I mixed in a little bit of white to the mix of reddish and yellow color. I know that some people say that you shouldn't use white pigment in watercolor, you should dilute it more, and that's the proper way to use lighter color. But honestly, I have this attitude that you can do whatever you want as an artist. There is no such thing as a bad way of creating your own art. So yeah, without white watercolor, white pigment, you will not get that pastel color. As you can see, I move from one section to another to let the section that I've been painting previously to really dry out totally. Otherwise, it will bleed. This paper in this particular sketchbook dries really fast. It dries quicker than typical Canson hot press paper that I've been using, or Dilleroni Aqua Color smooth paper. Roses seem to be like really vivid, like too vivid, too alive. So I put a little bit of water on top of them for 2 seconds, and then I put a paper on it, just like I've been using the paper on these blue stripes. So roses got lighter, and then when the surface was dry, I put beige pigment because I thought that it would give more like warm look. So yeah, if you liked it, please put thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more that kind of videos, because I will send it. So take care.